Hey guys, it's the Gundam Boy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the, Epoch. And I'm going to be real with you guys, this weapon's kind of a bummer. This was more painful than leveling up the Diligence Counter Sniper up to 25. Let me just say, it is not going to surpass the anti-tank weapons we have. So let's take a look at it, and I'll break down the whole reasons why I'm not really a fan of this weapon further in. So let's get straight into it. And the Epoch can be acquired from the Control Group Orbon. So it has 400 ballistic damage and 400 explosion damage when it's not charged, but when you charge it up, it goes up to 800 ballistic and 800 explosion, while giving it a max penetration of 5. Like how guys like to lie about their peener size, this weapon lies about its explosion size. It's average size! And if you guys knew about the Epoch before, then its bloom was terrible, but now they fixed it so that it shoots straighter. Now you can actually use this weapon to snipe enemies at longer ranges. Before we go further into the video, I'm mainly going to be focusing on the full charge setting because I just don't see a universe where I'll be using this gun in an uncharged state, and especially when the weapon in its uncharged state only gives you 800 damage. I ain't taking a knee for 800 damage. Luckily enough, this weapon gives us several signs that it's ready to fire. There's a charge up indicator on the back of the gun, and it flashes when it's about ready to fire, but don't fire it too soon or it won't do the whole boom. Then in first person, there's the same visual indicators. There's also an ear-piercing sound that'll also let you know it's ready to blow. And there's no safe mode on this weapon. If you fuck up that charge timing, there goes your gun, and you'll have to borrow one from your teammate. Oh boy, a great start already. Against the lesser chaff of enemies, they will fare pretty well. It will be able to annihilate most guys with a good heavy shot, but that's only if you're really using the full charge. There's not a single chaff enemy I can think of that could survive a fully charged Epoch, whether it's Alpha Brute Commanders, Predator Stalkers, or even things like Heavy Devs. A fully charged Epoch is going to annihilate them. But here's the problem with using this weapon against mainly chaff enemies. Its blast radius is small. You can't really fit too many enemies in that blast radius, especially if they spread out. Most kills I've gotten with this weapon was self-detonating it. Sudoku! So let's look at how long it takes for this weapon to kill something like a flesh mob. Alright, it's the one shot. Alright, up. Two shot. Up. Three shot. Okay, you see what the problem is? Yep, it's definitely quite the commitment to kill a flesh mob with this. But you know what? It was pretty low after. Could kill it with the Talon. And even though you killed one, there's usually 5 of them waiting around the corner. So it's not really good at killing lesser chaff, or at least it's not worth it. I mean, that much ammo and that much bang, you might as well spend it on a heavy. So how does it fare against the heavies in the game? It can take down a charger in 2 shots, and if you aim at its ass, you can let it bleed out. And if the Impaler's not showing his face, you can easily take him down in 2 shots. The Epoch is also pretty good at taking down things like Bile Titans. As long as you aim for his face, you can take it down in 2 shots. Otherwise, if you're aiming towards his backside or you can't see his face, you will have to spend way more ammo than I think it's needed to take down a Bile Titan. I'm sorry, A1, I couldn't save you. But I would have to say it's a pretty good weapon on the bug front. It's nothing crazy in terms of an anti-tanker, but you know what? It'll get the job done. And it's not an impressive feat, considering that the heaviest armor on that front is 4. Moving over to the Automaton front, it is capable of taking down a Hulk in 2 shots, or if you hit him in the face, you can take him down in 1. Gunships are pretty easy to smack out of the air, only taking really 1 shot, and then when you're facing off against something like a War Strider, it can take it down in 2. And against the Factory Strider, you can take down its top turret in 2 shots, and you can typically one-shot the chain guns. However, this gun really isn't my favorite to use against Factory Striders. You can take him down in 3 shots if you're aiming at his stomach, or you can take him out in 3 shots specifically to that little red eye. Yeah, I know, even he's like, this is painful. Even he thinks this is a painful way to die. Look at how slow it is. Especially if you're gonna be using it at extended ranges, the Epoch really isn't built for that. Mainly because this weapon needs to consistently land in one place to do a shit ton of damage, and when you're at long range, it's kinda hard to do that, especially when there's a lot of things that count for, like the weight of this bullet, charging it perfectly so you do most damage, while accounting for enemies that are trying to assault you. And if the Harvester's shield's down, it only takes 2 shots to kill them. But there is a problem with this weapon that I didn't really think about it until I started working on this video, and that it's really, really slow, and it makes me angry, because if you go back and look at a lot of my footage, while I'm talking, I have to fast forward it because it takes so damn long to drop them. If I played it at its current speed, I would have to talk like this, and therefore, and so on, just to make sure it stays in the time. And I don't mind it not being able to take down things like Fabricators in a 1 shot. It only takes 2, but against heavy Fabricators, oh, God forbid you try to take these down. That is a waste of ammo. At least a Commando can shoot into the little ports and destroy it that way. Yeah, and it's not even capable of taking down a bug hole, so don't even bother. And I talked about this weapon briefly briefly in a past video, and I thought I understood what it's trying to do, but after using it, I really don't know. Its blast range is too small to be good against chaff units, and its damage is too minimal to be considered a better anti-tanker, which I know was a big staple point about this weapon. It's supposed to surpass anti-tank weapons, but it really doesn't. It definitely surpasses my attention span, because using this weapon is pretty agonizing. So you have to do 3 of these full charge shots to get the most out of your weapon, then you have to commit to a really long and slow reload, and then you get to do it all over again. And I want to really put the point in that this isn't stealing the anti-tank role anytime soon, because just look at the difference between how long it takes for you to get the damage out with something as iconic as the recoilless rifle. You know, the known anti-tanker in this class. With the damage output of something like recoilless rifle, I just can't ever imagine something like the Epoch surpassing that. And mind you, this isn't like considering the fact that you're going up against moving targets. You might miss a shot with Epoch, and you might miss a shot with things like recoilless. But recoilless rifle doesn't have to worry about a charge up for every shot. So yeah, the Epoch does a little bit more damage, but like 3 years later, this gun is comically slow. And as you can see again, I had to speed it up, or I'd have to be padding for time and talking like this and saying things to add on my run-on sentence. And if that wasn't proof enough, if I wanted to show you guys how much time it took, up on the top right there, that's the Epoch's video time. Underneath it, that's the recoilless rifle. A really good example of how slow it is. And even though the Epoch has a similar charge time to things like Quasar Cannon, at least if you're using the Quasar Cannon and you need to duck for something, you can save your shot. Whereas the Epoch requires you to fire it after you charge it for some time, or you die. Overall though, I'd have to say it is alright if you don't go past level 8. It's really not that good for things like level 10 bots, especially when there's something as abundant as War Striders running on a level 10 bot mission where things like War Striders and Hulks can both exist at the same time. It's really not the best weapon to bring on this front, especially at level 10. Level 8, sure, whatever. And it's funny, because on the Illuminate front, it's actually the other way around. It's because there's so much chaff little enemies running at you and a bunch of projectiles hitting you that really cuts this weapon's capabilities, as you also need to be pretty well positioned to use it. The only front I see it doing perfectly fine on is the bug front on level 10. And that probably has to do with the fact that it's easier to get collateral kills when the bugs are the size of small cars, and the biggest armor that you'll face on the bug front is only at level 4s, so there's not really any hardy enemies to run you down. So it's not really an impressive support weapon. I mean, it can kill, definitely, but it's sitting in a weird place right now in terms of like combat capabilities that really mixes my feelings about it. Like, if I really needed something to be anti-tank, I would just take an anti-tanker, and if I needed something for horde clearing or swarm clearing, I would bring the grenade launcher. And it's unfortunate because I think I was able to come up with a fair amount of problems with this support weapon, like on the spot after using it in those few matches. So personally, I don't like the weapon. That's fine. If you like it, go ahead, because realistically the meta is the fun you have. And if this gun is fun for you, keep using it. Me personally though, I need to use something else after this. You can try and make this support weapon work. You can use things like Gas Guard Dog to try and push enemies off of you. You can use Warp Pack to reposition yourself. But these are only crutches for a weapon that can't walk. And even though I don't like the weapon, I'm still curious. What do you guys think about it? Like, leave it in the comments down below, because this weapon has me mixed up. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and bye-bye!